he mentions about the tree called Shyama on the way to Chitrakuta, where the leaves are all evergreen. The leaves won't. They are. It doesn't. It is green throughout the year. So we come to know how when Sita Devi touches the tree, it becomes a celestial angel or a Gandharva. So we went into how the three kinds of Mahakanyas, one is Sita, Ahalya, and Draupadi. They are also known as Ayonijas, where Sita represents the earth element, and Draupadi represents the fire element, and Ahalya represents the ether. So one of the Ayonijas should touch for the celestial body, for the celestial person to become celestial angel to come back to his real state from the tree. We went into how he was cursed by he was given a curse by the Lord because he was blaming Lakshmi Devi. So that we went into that backstory. Then we went into how Bharata and Shatrughna they come to know about Lord Rama's leaving, and they come back and they stay and but they do not take any food, and the entire convoy goes to meet Lord Rama, and they are waiting there, but only the ministers and the family are allowed to go closer to Lord Rama and talk to them directly. So Bharata is again, he is chastised by Rama, saying that a mother is always a mother, but you have completely you are trying to abuse her because she made a mistake. Whatever mistake she make, you cannot. The mother's love will always remain. And then he also pacifies Kaikeyi by saying that Bharata still has love for his mother. And then Lord Rama also advises Bharata. Then later on, they come to know about King Dasharatha's passing away. So they take care of the animals in the forest and all the creatures so that his soul may attain peace. Then we went into how even Bharata gives many points in the argument, like how the king was incapacitated and he was in no position to say Lord Rama to go to the forest, but still it was Kaikeyi who gave the order, and that is not valid. So you please come back is what Bharata says. But Lord Rama says that both mother and father are equal to me, and even if mother says I am going to take it the same way, and then they finally they agree on the point that Lord Rama's Padukas will be the representative of Lord Rama, and at this point we learned how we should always consult our consciousness, like how Bharata goes to consult with Rama, and then they go to Atri Mahamuni's ashram. They move because they have that they have a concern that the Kara or the brother of King Ravana of Lanka, he is a demonic kind of person. So he's moving about in that area, and he might come and cause problems to these people. So they are moving to Atri Mahamuni's ashram. So uncle, you mentioned about Anasuya, or one who has no Asuya jealousy. So she is the wife of Atri Mahamuni, and she turns even the Trinity, that is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, into kids, and we went into that. So, uncle, you mentioned how Sita Devi even made a mistake on her part, so that she does not have Pativrata Shakti, just like Anasuya. So, even though, even because despite of her mistake, Ravana was only able to keep a distance from her. So, uncle, you mentioned you will mention what mistake she did, and then we can. I think we can get started with Aranya Kanda, uncle. Sai Ram.
Can you hear me?
Yes, uncle, we can hear you.
Good. See, before we go to this Aranya Kanda, two important things that happened that I should tell you. One, probably you must be knowing what is the reason of the argument between Bharata and Rama. Can they argue? Can Bharata argue with Rama? He is the elder. But Rama allowed Bharata to argue. Why did Rama allow Bharata to argue? You could have said, no, shut up, take your go away, or take your saddle, said go away. He allowed them to argue. He argued. Finally, he came to a conclusion that, Swami, if you are not coming back, I'll stay here itself, and I'll stay here itself. with you. To that conclusion, then only Rama has agreed, you take at least my slippers, my wooden sandals. So wooden sandals, I think I gave you that the Mother Teresa story. I think I told you. Am I correct? Hello,
Yes, yes, uncle. Yeah,
Mother Teresa story.
yes, uncle.
Mother,
King, I think, yeah, the Lord made a promise to come back to Madra Desa.
the Lord has promised to come back and to make the land is more auspicious and more devoted. So that Mother Desa becomes Dravida Desa after Swami walks on barefoot. I think that told you, isn't it?
Ah, yes, uncle. I think
Okay.
even the city called Madurai came from Madra Desa. The name, I think.
Yeah, Madurai came from. Now, there's one more thing we have to know. During it, you were staying in the Chitrakuta hill. Uh, there's another story which I think the reason for Upanayana ceremony, how the Upanayana ceremony came into existence. So there is a Indra has had a son called Jayanta. That fellow was born and brought up in a very luxury manner. Everything that was available even at the age of young, 10 years. So when he became 18, 21, he thinks that he is the boldest, strongest, and nothing could defeat him. So once he went to his father, asked him, "Father, who created you?" Brahma created me. So yeah, who created Brahma? Brahma was created by Vishnu. So that who created Vishnu? No, he is the author. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing beyond Vishnu. So he is the strongest of all the strongest. I see. Then where is he now? He is in Chitrakuta hill, staying there along with the consort Lakshmi as embodiment of Sita. So he came here. He wanted to fight with Rama to prove that he is stronger than Rama. He kept here, but Rama was lying down on the lap of Sita, and Sita was watching him. So he thought what to do, how to wake him up for a fight. So best thing is what he did, he disguised himself as a crow, CROW, and started pricking the right shoulder of Sita. So blood came out of that. Put one or two drops fell at the face of Rama. Rama saw that, and he saw the crow. He knew who the crow is. Immediately he took a blade, a blade of grass, and put it on his head, and then threw against the crow. The crow started running. He thought his life is in danger. So he went to his father. The father, my God, you went there to fight with the Creator who created everybody, including me. I had no chance, Baba. I had nothing. Please go to Brahma. So when you go to Brahma, what is this you are doing? You are doing something unpardonable. Nobody else has done it so far. So best thing is to go to Iswara. So Iswara maybe excuse you, you go to Iswara. Because he is known as Asatosha. He generally accepts everybody. So when he went there, Iswara says, what is this you are doing? Iswara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Adir Anadir Govinda, Sarvakara Karanam. Everything belongs to Rama. Everything belongs to Krishna. Who are you to question me? Go. Better thing is go and fall at his feet. In the meanwhile, Sita was pathetic against this boy and convinces Rama, why are you killing this boy unnecessarily? It's all right. He did it without knowing anything. He's ignorant. He has no wisdom. So his mother would have been felt. Suppose if if he is killed by you, his mother would have felt bad about the loss of son. So please excuse him, reform him, he says. So by the time he comes, fall at the feet of Rama. Rama already excuses. Wait, we have to do something, some reformation we have to do. And he calls all the sages. The sages said, sages, now from now on, you see, this boy, the Jayanta was born in a very luxurious way, without any humbleness, without a devotion. With the result, what happens at the age of 18 and 20, you think he is the king, he is the richest of all, strongest of all. That kind of arrogance, that kind of supreme ignorance is available for youngsters like this. Therefore, in order to change these youngsters, you have to start. I'm telling you, you the moment you are, please listen to me. He says, the moment your man is born, is born out of Saukra Janma, is born out of the seminal fluid of the father. Then at the age of 6 or 7, he was made to sit before a guru. That is, that at that time his Janma is known as Savitra Janma. He is going to be enlightened. He is going to be enlightened. So that guru is there, and that guru, he talks, and this boy should only listen. He should not mention, he should not pronounce anything. Because if you pronounce anything, because his teeth fall and he may not have the correct pronunciation, therefore he is not advised to speak, to chant, only listen. And that too, the mantra, the guru tells in his left ear, not in the right ear. When you see the sun, sit down in Surya Namaskar, when you do it, your left ear is at the north, right ear is at the south. Ear at the south is known as Karmakanda, left is known as Devakanda. So that means you do not know more about celestial, more about spiritual, you have to listen only from the left ear, not at the right ear. So therefore he teaches him on the left ear. This is known as Savitra Janma, being enlightened, is going to be enlightened. Then at the age of 12, he is adolescent age, he is asked to take bath 2.5 hours before the sunrise, and he must chant Vedas at that time. Because his teeth are full, adolescent age, that particular stage is known as Vipra Janma. Vipra Janma means he is going to be enlightened. He is already enlightened, but he has to put it into practice. So he keep on chanting for 6 years. Everybody has to chant. In Gurukulam, everybody has to chant at the age of from 12 onwards, take a cold water bath through 2.5 hours before the sunrise. And at the age of 18, after completing this study of chanting of Vedas, all the Vedas, then Guru, based on the capacity and temperament of the student, he gives them a he declares themselves, gives them a degree, like what you call it, BCom, BA, MA, BA History, BA Physics, BSc Physics, BSc Chemistry, like that. He gives it four degrees he keeps it. One is known as Brahmana, other is known as Kshatriya, other is known as Sudra, and this Vaishya. These are only degrees, not everybody should be equal. There is no question of one is more or one is less. So this has to be taught by everybody, and at the time of birth, you should taught, first thing must taught the purpose of life. At the age of 5, when you sit before the Guru, that is Savitra Janma, the boy has to be known why he was born, what is the reason for his birth, not because of his father or mother. God has sent him to your father's body, soul, body belongs to the father and mother, soul belongs to God. So the purpose of soul is to utilize the body, so you have to get back to heaven where he came from. The purpose of life has to be taught at the age of 5, 6, or 7. Then after 6 or 7, when he taught at the age of 18, between 18 to 20 is a marriageable age. Then then the Guru has to announce purpose of marriage. What is this marriage? Is it necessary? Is it compulsory? According to Guru, he says it is not compulsory, it is not necessary, it is purely optional. It is for you to take a decision. So why marriage? He says the purpose of life is to get back where you came from. That is the purpose of life. If now, for example, a student of 90-year-old, for example, a man has got masculine force, positive force of polarity. Always, he jumps to conclusion, he wants to argue, he wants to fight. This kind of known as positive force is there at the age of 18, 21, youth, full of youth. So for that, there must be one negative force to bring back positive force to a halt. So the negative force of polarity is where the body of a woman. So the body of a woman is kept next to the body of a man, so that the positive force come back to the normal, come back to a level where the level of negative force also are equal. When both are equal, there is peace. Peace, then they will understand their purpose of life is not to get children. Children is optional. They may get children, they may not get, but only thing both have to pass, get out of the body. Get out of the body, get out of the world. That is the purpose of life. Getting children is optional. It's for you to take a decision. So this kind of a thought is given at the time of at the age of 18. See, everybody should know the purpose of marriage. Then the question of physical love does not come at all. The physical love, the conjugal love, we learned only from the Western countries, not from India. In India, it was not at all told. The body is respected. Body is respected. There is no question of body is beautiful. That beautiful also is divine beauty. If you take it as divinity, divinity is always full of beauty. That's why you should express. You should see the divinity in a woman. The woman should see divinity in man. Then both are not human being. Both are above human being. So both live together. For example, you see, our power, electric power is there. Bulb is there. When you switch on, the bulb is on. Light is given. Light is everywhere. Why this light? Because there are two works are going inside the bulb. One is positive force and negative force. Positive energy, negative energy. If both are equal, then the light is on. If one is more, one is less, the light is fused. Similarly, marriage also here, the positive force of polarity, positive force of negative, both should be equal so that they will have peace throughout the peace and they attain the goal of getting back to both. For example, a student of 90 who gets 90% mark, another student gets 70% marks, another boy gets 20% mark. This 70% mark, he cannot join with the 20% student because he loses his own calculation. So therefore, you want to join with the 90% candidate. They both do joint education. You must have seen in the college, the school also, joint education. Because both have to be upgraded. So similarly here, both means here man and woman should be joined, should be upgraded. That is the purpose of life. This is what he taught to everybody. So Rama tells everybody that everybody should follow this. At that time, Jayanta was present and his parents were present and they all fell at the feet of Rama for the mistake. No, he has given, it's only because of Jayanta, now I am able to tell the entire world the purpose of Upanayana. Upanayana means it is not for one particular person. Everybody, including Sudra, must wear the Upanayana means, what is the Upanayana? First you must wear three lines of thread. Three lines of thread. What are three lines represents? Rajogunam, Tamogunam, Satyagunam. It has to be controlled. At the age of 5, they say controlled. Second, in this you are nothing in this world. You are nothing. You are equal to dust. So for you, the God is necessary. The first God that you are going to see is your mother. So go and touch the mother's feet first. In the process of Upanayana, you must have seen the boy is known as Vatu. Vatu means he is a student. He is a spiritual student. He is known as Vatu. Go and touch the feet of the father, feet of the mother, and ask for Bhiksha Dehi. And mother gives her prasadam. Her prasadam means her love for the boy to come up in life. See, that love starts between mother and son starts at the age of 7, at the age of Upanayana. So this Upanayana ceremony means the boy, when he gets up to elderly age, he will always live in peace. The whole world is in peace. Satya and Dharma is automatically they know about it. So therefore you teach this, he explains to all these sages. So this is what it is before he leaves for Chitrakuta, from Chitrakuta. So this is what it is. Then in the Chitrakuta afterwards, they are coming to the Dandaka forest. In that Dandaka area, everything is green. That's what you tell. But there is one Muni called Sarabanga. He offers his respectful obeisance to him. He tells this is a place where you have to live. So at that time, then he takes Ashirvadam from Sarabanga Muni. Then they went. They saw a giant demon called Virada. This giant, he has got, and he saw Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. Immediately he said, Rama, I say, you two boys, you get out, I want to have Sita. So they were laughing at him, but that fellow has got too much of powerful shoulders. So he took Rama and Lakshmana on his shoulder, started running because he wanted to leave them in the seashore, then get back and take Sita. So Rama and Lakshmana decides, they say, better this fellow, we should not go too far because Sita will be alone. So better to cut his shoulders. So each Rama cut his shoulder, the Lakshmana cut his shoulder. This boy fell, the demon fell down. When the demon fell down, then he knew that something, his previous birth. At that time, Rama says, Lakshmana, you see, this fellow will be of no use. Better to bury him alive. At that time, a light from the body of that comes out, and he says, "Sir, I am known as Tumburu. That is my devotion. I am a celestial angel. I am the assistant of Lord Kubera." And Kubera, when we argued, and I started arguing, I did not agree with the points that have been told by Kubera. I argued with him, which is not correct according to me. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, "Tad vidhi panipratena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantete jnanam jnanenas tattvadarshinaha." Always for Guru, she is certainly in a higher place than yourself. You are only a boy. You are still young. So tad vidhi, if you want to know that, you want to know reality, if you want to upgrade yourself to a higher level of consciousness, paripratena, go to a Guru, fall at the feet of Guru like a rod. ROD. That is known as Shirasastanga Namaskaram. When you do Shirasanga Namaskaram, next time Paripratena. Any doubts are there, don't argue with the Guru. Ask for a doubt. So, my Lord, Guruji, I have some doubts. Can I ask? Ask. Then he will explain. And when you are asking your devotion or your doubts also, there must be devotion in your place. Reverence, obedience, all these things contained. Then only the Guru will answer your question. Similarly, you cannot. No, you cannot. Therefore, you have to wait. And then this Tadvidi Pariprashnena Sevaya, be a menial servant to the Guru. Then at that time, Upadekshantete Gnanam, then the Guru gives the practical wisdom of reality. Jnanenas Tattva Darshanaha. Take that wisdom and go and talk to others. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. So here it says, this particular, here, I made a mistake in arguing. I argued. We should not argue. Especially when you're when somebody is in a higher position, he is after all, he is head of this institution, Kubera. I was only an assistant. What can I argue? If I got any doubt, I should clear the doubt in asking in obeisances. This is what we learn. You should never argue with your higher authorities, with your seniors in age, whatever it is. So therefore, we should learn to clear your doubts. This is what I did. I made a mistake, so I am going. He says, okay. Then this Tumburu, he goes away. Then they go to this Sarabhaga. Sarabhaga now comes here. After this, Sarabhaga comes in. And Sarabhaga looks always young. He said, what is you are so young? He said, then he says, here there's a lake here. In this lake, there was a Muni, Tamraparni, Mandakaparni. Mandakaparni was a guru or a sage. He was bathing here and he was pushing. Then Indra wanted to spoil his tapas because the tapas might be danger his own position. You just see that what is Indra? He comes down to either to spoil or to give a boon so that his position is not arrested. His position is not spoiled. Life is also like this. You see how politics are there now. So therefore, you have to learn. So the Indra comes there, ask him. He says. Then he said 5 celestial nymphs to change his body, to change his tapas, to spoil his tapas. So what this man did is, don't come to me. Call the 5. I made 5 lakes for you. Go and sleep. Go and have a bath there. Do whatever you want. You don't come to me. He said that 5 lakes are there, out of which 1 lake is only one. The 4 lakes have gone. This 1 lake, if you take your bath, you always feel young. You don't feel aged. Don't feel tired. maybe vitaminized water. We don't know. Whatever it is. So this is what it is. This is what it is. So the Sarbanga, the releases are asked the Guru, this Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, stay here for some time. Then after stay, then let us get into the inside the forest. Inside the forest. When inside the forest, before he came, these gurus, some of the tapasvis came and asked them, Lord, you have come. This Dandakaranya is full of hermitages. Full of hermitages means sannyasis are there. But every place there is a spoiling. Demons are spoiling. Who are the demons? Non-believers. They don't believe in Vedic system. So they are spoiling. So you have to help to us. So at that time, Rama says, yes, I'll assure you, you please continue your tapas, your rituals, whatever it is. I will see that nobody disturbs you at all. Sita was listening to this conversation between Rama and sages. Then Sita comes. Look at our argument. We have come here not to fight with anybody. First of all, I see three good dharmas are there in you. One is, number one, no falsehood for you. Number two, no asking another man's wife. No, you don't have. But number three, you should not get angry against somebody whom you do not know. Now here in this case you fail in this number three. He says, why? You have not seen those demons. This fellow said demons said. And you said demons, you are prepared to spoil them, you are prepared to hurt them and throw them out. That means you want to fight against those whom you do not know. And you are getting angry because sages said so. Is it rice on your pot? This is the question Sita asks this. Then he says, శిష్టులను బ్రోగ వచ్చిన నేను దుష్టులను ఇట్లనే విడవగలను. He says in Telugu. Means, I have come here, I have descended here to safeguard, to protect the devotees, protect those who are following Dharma, to protect those who are protecting Vedas. So it is my duty. Those who want to spoil the Vedas, those who do not want to follow Satya Dharma, they are my enemies. Automatically they are enemies. So you don't say that the Kauravas should, the demon should come and fight, then I get angry. No, not that. I'm angry because they're not following Satya and Dharma. They're not protecting Vedas. So it is my duty to protect the sages. So therefore do not argue. Again she continues argument. See, a lot of forests are there. We should have stayed near Ayodhya. Why did you come all the way to Dandakaranya? I know you carried bow and arrow, Lakshmana carried bow and arrow. I knew that you are going to do something. Now only I know that you are come here to fight, not to live. Your Kaikeyi mother said, go and live in the forest. You should not say you go and fight there. No, we should have lived in forest there itself. Why should you come to Dandakaranya, you tell me? Because happily we would have stayed there for 14 years and get back to Ayodhya. Why are you unnecessarily walking? You give padakas, walking in barefoot. Because of you, we also have to walk in barefoot. Sita also was barefoot. Lakshmana also was barefoot. Why all these problems? Why should you walk? Stay in one place. Then he says, who knows? Rama only knows why he is walking barefoot. So he knows that. Then he says, Sita, this is how he was. When you got married to me, first of all, your father made Kanyadana to me. That is, here is my daughter. I am giving you as charity to you. You do whatever you want. So that means you are absolutely under my control. So you are absolutely should follow my instructions. According to Kanyadana. Now forget about Kanyadana. Next come, after the marriage is, after the Mangala Sutra is said over, we both husband and wife have to make 3 rounds against Agni. Agni is the witness. With that, we always live together. So that's why, both the what do you call that? The cloths are tied up so that they cannot go out. So So both husband and wife, bride and bridegroom should go 3 times. What is the purpose of that? The wife has to follow what husband says. That is the meaning of it. Now, if you do not want to follow me, don't you think you are failing in dharma? Then she thought, all right, I agree. It's all right. I conveyed whatever I have in my mind, but you should know whether what you do is you go, I follow you. So like that, each one, gives this kind of a feeling. And Sita agrees. But here, one more thing, Sita asked, Bharata and Rama, you argued. She was listening also. Why did you argue? Why did you argue? He says, see, I cannot give my boon just like that. I want to know how crave you are, how much you are craving for my grace, how much you are craving for my benediction. I wanted to see. So I keep on tell you no, not possible, not possible, not possible. Just to see how firm you are, how determined you are to get me. That's otherwise, if I give just like that, if you ask me, if I just like that I give you take this easy. Now, see, the Padaka, he put it on my head and he went and put it on the throne. Otherwise, if he asked for Padaras, I had given it, he would have taken it in the hand, maybe a parcel. So the importance given depends upon how much you have crave for God's mercy. So that is the reason why I argued like that. I argued. So Sita explains, Rama explained to Sita. So that means what? Swami also must have seen. He does not give Padamaskaram unless you deserve. He does not give Vibhuti Prasadam unless you deserve. He does not take any cover from you unless you deserve. He knows why he is not taking others. Once I think Raja of Chettinad, he is no more now. Raja is known as Sir S-I-R, given by the British people. Sir Mutai Chettiar. Raja Sir Mutai Chettiar. And at that time, we had one, our Central Trust member in the beginning, known as Damodar Rao, G. Damodar Rao. He retired as a district judge. And he was a good friend of Raja Sir Mutai Chettiar. And he knew that he is going to put up as a Brindavan and all those things. The Raja Sir Mutai Chettiar said, let me also come along with you, take me also. Okay, please come. So they went by car from Madras to Brindavan. So in those days, whether you know it or not, in the early 70s, see, Swami gates are there. On one side, on the right side, gents sit in a row to the road, gate near the road, and ladies on the left side. So Swami walk in the middle. So this Damodar Rao and this Raja Sir Mutai Chettiar stood there because Raja city is little below the dignity to sit along with the crowd. He just one line behind the crowd, he stood. Another Damodar sat there. Swami came. The moment he comes to near Damodar, he went to the left side. He went to the lady side. And lady side he was. So these two people, Hari Baba, they wish to will go to the other side. So he will again get back. So the Lord will come back again to the judge side. There also he did not see. Then afterwards, his driver was sitting there, his driver. And Swami went to him, his driver, methylated Vibhuti and gave it to him and put on his forehead. So this Mutai Chettiar is watching. My king, he is a king. A king's driver is taken, he is given so much Padamaskaram and Vibhuti Prasadam, everything was given to him. And he also mentioned a few words which he did not hear. The reason for that is your devotion counts first, obedience counts first. So these are the things one should learn from Ramayana also. In the lot of hermitages, Rama never get upset. Even they talk something adharma, the gurus. He does not argue with him whether why should I come to you or why should I take care of you and all. No, that is my duty, he says. That is my duty. This is what he says. So then he comes to Sarabanga. Sarabanga afterwards, then he started going towards the Dandaka. Dandakaranya, today if you want to see the map, it starts from Hampi, Vijayanagar. You must have heard of Hampi, Ballari. That is the beginning of Dandakaranya. Ballari. From Ballari to Cape Comorin is known as Dandakaranya. But In this Dandakaranya, when demons are there, why should these people have hermitages? Hermitages could have been in some other place. Why should they? Because this is the question of Sita asked Rama. Why should they have their hermitages here? They should have hermitages in some other place where they don't get any disturbance from the Rakshasas. Here, they have hermitages at the same time disturbance. So hermitage means free from ashrama means sama, no problem. But here full of problems. Then he says, this is the reason how we should you should show your determination even in spite of so much of nonsense outside. Your devotion, your determination should not be reduced. Should not be reduced. Therefore, these people stood there in order to see they are able to stand in spite of the demonic disturbances. They were able to stand because they have love for God. Because of that, I have to come back and fight with them, fight for them. So this is what it is. So then Sita listens to this. Lakshmana also listens to. See, Rama gives advice in every place, So this Satyaka, this is what is this what is the Sarabhanga Muni listens to this story. So he goes on. Then he slowly enters Tapovanam. Tapovanam means where they see the Tapovanam. Agastya Muni ashram. Agastya Muni, who is Agastya Muni? Agastya Muni, he was born without, he is something born out of in a pot, water jar.